The morning Lisa's tires popped, she didn't scream. She just stood there in her sleek leather boots, glaring at the jagged metal spikes poking out of my Pasture's soft dirt, then up at me on my porch, sipping coffee like it was any other day. My cows froze mid-chew, their big eyes locked on her like they knew this was the showdown I'd been waiting for. It all started with tracks deep, ugly ruts slicing through my field, flattening grass and spooking my goats. At first, I figured it was the delivery guy, the one who swore his GPS called my land a shortcut. But the tracks kept showing up every dawn, carvying chaos into my quiet world. One morning, just as the sun cracked the horizon, I was tossing oats to the animals when I heard tires crunching gravel by the gate. Before I could blink, a shiny silver SUV barreled through my wooden fence like it owned the place, tearing across the pasture and missing a grazing calf by inches. I stood there, bucket in hand, jaw dropped as the driver slammed the brakes. The window rolled down, and there she was, Lisa, all sunglasses and press linen, looking at me like I saw was the one in her way. "Can I help you?" I asked, forcing my voice steady. She leaned out, smirking, and said she was just taking the shortcut. Been doing it for a week, she claimed, like that made it okay. I told her this was private land, with livestock and fences and signs. She laughed, dry as dust, and flashed her phoniest satellite map glowing on the screen. "See? My house, your field, straight shot to the road. Why go around when this is faster?" I stared, torn between rage and awe at her nerve. I repeated, "Private property, no access, danger to my animals." She waved me off like I was a pesky kid and peeled out, tires spitting dirt as she crossed my fence line. That night, I chained the gate and slapped up a hand-painted sign. Saw private property. No through traffic. Saw by morning, the chain was in the dirt, the sign snapped like a twig, and fresh tire tracks mocked me. My pulse pounded not just at the damage, but at the sheer gall. This wasn't a mistake anymore. It was war. Neighbors started whispering about the silver SUV speeding down our quiet road. Old Man Harper, a rancher with a grin like cracked leather, chuckled. "That's Lisa, HOA queen. Thinks she owns the county." Turns out, she lived in the subby VY Shown nearby, pushing for new access roads through some I saw land, no less. I called the sheriff, who poked around, called it trespassing, but said without direct harm, charges wouldn't stick. He suggested EVY Denke and a formal letter. I nodded, but it felt like taping a broken dam. Lisa kept coming, bold as brass, Starbucks cup in hand, sunglasses perched like a crown. She'd wave, casual as a tourist, while my goats scattered and chickens flapped in panic. My oldest nanny, Daisy, stopped grazing near the field's edge, limping from stress. I'd had enough. I called a buddy who knew property law. No easement, no right-of-way, he confirmed. I sent Lisa a certified letter, but I knew she'd toss it. She didn't believe in consequences. So I got creative. I rigged trail cams and bird feeders, catching her every move daytime tire tracks. I studied her path. The creek dip, the barn rise, the spot her tires always spun. I didn't want blood, just a lesson. In my granddad's shed, I found it. Old spike strips, sharp enough to stop hogger SUVs. I buried them shallow, smoothed the dirt, and waited. She came at dusk, her SUV humming like always. I sat on the porch, Daisy chewing nearby, both of us ready. The moment her tires hit the spike, saw pop, hiss, grind, saw the air changed. She skidded, stopped, and stepped out, staring at her deflating tires, then at me. I raised my mug, took a slow sip. Daisy bleated, loud and proud. Lisa didn't quit, though. By morning, rumors flew. I'd booby-trapped my land, a menace to the community. She rallied her HOA cronies, staging a protest with signs, saw open access for all, saw and yapping poodles in sweaters. I didn't argue. I set a table by my gate with a laminated county map, my borders in red. No words, just truth. Lisa squinted, called out that her husband knew city people who'd prove this was an easement. I knew she was bluffing. I added more cams. One on the creek bend she'd started sneaking through to dodge the spikes. My phone pinged at 6:31 morning, her SUV, slinking along the fence like a thief. She'd memorized my field, carve a new path. The grass lay flat, hoof prints scattered, and one calf limped. That was my line. I stood in her path the next day. She stopped, window down, glaring. "Last warning," I said. She sneered about her lawyer, her zoning committee friends, her SAW influence SAW. I told her my cattle didn't care about her connections, and I was tired of fixing fences. She backed off, fuming, but I knew she was plotting. A week later, a letter arrived from the HOA, claiming I'd blocked a community path. No legal weight, just noise. I laughed, called the county clerk, and got zoning records pro VYing my land was mine alone. Then I called Hank, a retired lawyer with a binder thicker than a Bible. We drafted a cease and desist, filed a trespass notice, and got it notarized. But Lisa didn't respect paper. So I moved hay bales, parked my rusty tractor in her new path, and let the goats claim the rest. One evening, my cam caught her SUV skidding to a stop, her heels sinking in mud as she cursed at the tractor. She paced, then retreated, headlights off, defeated. But Lisa wasn't done. She hired a surveyor who wandered my fence line, confused, with no paperwork. I showed him my county survey. He left, admitting her fence was 3 feet on someone else's land. Then a contractor showed up, claiming I'd requested an emergency access lane. The signature wasn't mine. Lisa had forged it. I filed a report, and the sheriff VY cited her. Neighbors heard shouting about slander and harassment. The HOA turned next. At a packed meeting, a board member, Sarah, called out Lisa's nonsense while VYing a VY Row News article about her feud. Lisa was voted out as president, replaced by Sarah. In a final petty jab, someone likely her proxy tossed nails and glass by my gate. I caught it on cam, cleaned it up, and added another lock. Then I built to produce stand eggs, veggies, honey with a sign. Free to good neighbors. It drew locals, tourists, even kids from Lisa's subdy VY Shown. The land became a place of peace again, not war. But Lisa sued, claiming damages for her tires and emotional distress. In court, Hank's binder letters, footage, surveys buried her. The judge dismissed her case, ordered her to pay my costs, and warned her about forgery charges. She sat, stunned, pearls gleaming, as reality sank in. Her appeal flopped, and her neighbors ousted her from the HOA board entirely. A for sale sign sprouted by her house. A note arrived and signed with a photo of her dented SUV on a tow truck. She'd moved, sold the car, and admitted pride had cost her. I tucked it away, not for sentiment but finality. At a neighborly barbecue, we grilled, laughed, and never mentioned her. The pasture healed, Daisy grazed freely, and I added a locked gate just in case. One evening, kids passed by, pointing at Daisy. "She looks like she's been through something," one said. I smiled. "She has. And she's stronger for it. So was I. So was the land."